problem, I need to solve an absolute value inequality. So I kind of go back to thinking, what is my basic inequality? The absolute value of x, in this case, less than 5. I'm just trying to give myself an example of what I'm trying to do. So I'm thinking about it if I have a number line, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so this is negative 5, and that's 5. If the absolute value of x is less than 5, it has to be, well, it's an open circle, less than 5. But if I kept going this way and I got out here to negative 7, it would no longer be true. So it also has to be greater than negative 5. So when I have an absolute value less than a positive number type of equation, I know it's going to be something that's going to be between two numbers. So I need to set the problem up correctly. I know that absolute value of 5 minus 2/3 x has to be less than 4/5. But I also know that the absolute, that 5 minus 2/3 x has to be greater than negative 4/5. Just like in this little sample that I did right above, it has to be less than the positive 5, but greater than the negative 5. It has to be between these two numbers. So now I have two inequalities, and I need to solve them both to find out where x can lie. So on this one here, I think what I'm going to do is I want to start isolating x. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. But in this case, since I have a fraction right there of 4/5, I'm not going to make this minus 5. I'm going to make it minus 25/5. Because in order to do addition or subtraction, I have to have a common denominator. So now I have negative 2/3 x is less than, well, negative 25/5 and 4/5 should give me negative 19/5. I still need to isolate x. So in order to isolate x, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of its coefficient. So I'm going to multiply by negative 3/2, and I have to do that on both sides. So what I get in terms of algebra here, these go away, and I have x on this side. And on the other side, I have, well, multiplying, I multiply straight across. So I'm going to have tenths, because 5 times 2 is tenths. And 3 times 19 is 63. And it's a negative times a negative, so it's going to be a positive. But, very important, since I multiply both sides by a negative number, I have to flip my inequality sign. So one of my solutions is going to be x is greater than 63/10. What about my other side? Well, okay, let's kind of make a little line here so I can see what I'm doing. Still, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So I'm going to have negative 2/3 x is greater than negative 4/5 minus my 25/5. I've subtracted 5 from both sides. So I have negative 2/3 x is greater than, well, see, that would be negative 29/5. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of my coefficient on x. So I'm going to multiply this side by negative 3/2, and I'm going to multiply this side by negative 3/2. And since I multiplied by a negative sign, I'm going to flip my inequality right away, and I'm just going to have x is less than, well, negative 3 times negative 29 is 87/10. So these are my two answers. X is less than 87/10, and greater than 63 tenths. So if I was to look at it on a number line, I don't know where these are going to be, but this is going to be 63 tenths, and over here is going to be 87 tenths, and I'm going to have between them, just like I had anticipated when I did my little reminder thing right up here at the top. So, so you could write it like this. I happen to like it in two separate answers, but either way is totally adequate. And it is less than, not less than or equal. So that's the answer to that problem.